Welcome back to Amplify with Purpose, Business and Life Unlocked. I'm your host, Odette the Beard, and today we continue the enlightening journey into the world of happiness. We're joined once again by our wonderful guest, Janine de Cabo. Hello, everyone. If you haven't been here before, there is an episode of happiness which I really recommend you go check out. And for those of you who were part of it, welcome. This is not a destination, it's a journey. So in our previous episode, we spoke about the science of happiness and we were looking into the deeper things that create happiness. Today, we are going to explore it by giving you some happiness hacks. Welcome back, Janine.
Thank you, Odette. I simply love the previous episode. And exactly like Odette said, you have to go and listen to it. There's so much practical things in there that's going to help you with that. If I can quickly recap on one thing is what we said is happiness is circumstantial, but it's also something that you yourself can determine, where joy is eternal and it comes from a much deeper place. So like you said, today we're going to speak about the hacks. We're going to break it down for you even more because we want you to be as happy as what we are.
Absolutely. And who doesn't love a happy person? Let's just be serious. The world is just so much better when people are happy. So, Janine, one of the keys to happiness obviously involves setting goals. And it's not just about setting goals, actually. It's about creating meaningful goals that give you a sense of purpose and direction. You spoke at length about purpose in the previous session. So, guys, again, if you missed it, you have to go check it out. So when we have something to strive for, it can bring a deep sense of fulfillment. Not to mention that when you actually achieve that goal, you release dopamine in the brain and then you celebrate and then you get happy. I mean, guys, come on. So start by setting small, achievable goals. As you accomplish them, you are going to create that feedback loop in your brain that I just spoke about. So, Janine, can you share with us how having clear goals can impact your happiness?
Well, when you reach goals, you are actually making a valuable contribution, either to yourself or to somebody else or an organization, right? So
Yes.
when you make a valuable contribution, you feel happy, the people around you feel happy. And like you say, it starts creating that circle. But if you think about something, sometimes our goals are so big and so huge and so difficult that it takes months, years, and even decades to reach. But what if you can have simple daily goals that you can achieve so you can have that happy feeling on a daily basis? So what I like to do is when I get started in the morning, I will ask myself this is what two things can I do today that will truly be a valuable contribution? Because then I know for a fact that I will have something to celebrate at the end of the day, and something that will make me feel happy. So what are two things that you can do today that is going to make a valuable contribution? And then take it a step further. Ask that same question in your personal life, in your family life, in your work life, in your professional life. And I mean, then you've got about 10 things that you can do daily to have a valuable contribution or to leave a valuable contribution.
I love that. So, guys, it's not just about goals, it's about impactful goals. And if you weren't sure, the show is called Amplify with Purpose. So, like it's in the name, guys. If you came here for the fluffy, the money stuff only, you're probably in the wrong place, because it is about purpose and it is about creating an impact. And how good is it that you can create a daily impact in every area of your life? Janine mentioned it in the previous podcast. It's about being intentional about what you want to be happy about. So if you go and ask that question in every area of your life that matters to you, then you are definitely going to be impactful and intentional in the areas that matter to you. So for me, gratitude is a theme that comes up often, and it's something that we practice daily. And we also discussed it in our previous podcast. Gratitude, honestly, is a game changer. So take a moment every day. Janine mentioned, start your day off with what's the one or two things you're grateful for. For me, it's seeing the sunrise early in the morning when nobody's awake and nobody gets to spoil it. Isn't that fantastic? Yes, that means I'm up before the birds. So take a moment every day to be thankful. Find something to be grateful for. You know what? Sometimes it's that awesome parking spot at the mall. I don't know about you, but I have celebrated those many times over because I don't mind walking.
Exactly.
But hey, why do you want to walk 10 Ks to get to one shop quickly if you can just stop right in front of it? So write them down, keep them simple, and you can even do it mentally. If you don't have time to write it down in the mornings, keep a gratitude journal. If you can't do that, just go through the day and go, you know what, I'm really grateful for the sun that's shining today. And I'm really grateful for these awesome people. So Janine, what are your thoughts on the gratitude practice?
First, I want to say I shop way too much. So I can't afford to have a parking spot that's too far. So I have to celebrate those. It's a non negotiable for me. I park the closest to the entrance, right? And I get it every single time because that's just how it works. And that's how it works in life as well. That's just how it works. If your mindset is positive and that's just how it works, then it becomes exactly like that. Like
Yes.
if my husband wants to park far, I'm like, what's wrong? What happened? Why not? What's happening? Like, I honestly think something's wrong because why are we here and not by the door?
Yeah.
So the big thing with this, with the goals, happiness, and all of it, it has to become who you are. Just like this is why are we here? Why is this not a good day? Why am I
Yeah.
not feeling thankful for this moment? Like, what is
Yeah.
wrong? When it's not going well, and it's not a good day, we were like, hold on, I need to stop, assess, check this out because something is up, right? And I have the power within me right now to change it with my next
Absolutely.
choice, my next decision, and my next action. And about the gratefulness and thankfulness, Odette, it's very interesting because the top earners in the world do exactly what we do is they get up early, they start moving, they read about an hour of the day about something that they are busy with and what is in their field, and they practice, they actually call it the practice of gratitude, right? So they practice gratitude, and that helps them to set those goals. It helps them to not just have some simple goals, but impactful, purposeful, intentional goals that's actually going to make that valuable contribution.
So guys, it's called practice because it's like a muscle. The first time you do it, it's really hard to find something to be grateful for. And then after a while, you become like us and you celebrate the parking spots and you celebrate that you got to the place 20 minutes before and the GPS said it was going to take you 30 minutes. Guys, I celebrate everything. It sounds silly, but honestly, life is not worth living with gray sunglasses. It's not, which is why, by the way, my sunglasses aren't gray. They like a tan color because I like the way it looks through the tan color. I don't like the gray sunglasses. So in our previous episode, we spoke a little bit about motion managers emotion. If you are feeling stuck, one of the quickest ways of getting yourself out of your stuckness is to breathe and go for a walk. So part of being happy means that you need to look after your mental and physical well-being. It plays a huge role in your happiness in life. So what are some of the strategies that people can use to take better care of themselves, Janine?
Mentally and mental, you have to have at least 3 things that you're going to do when you're tired. The reason why we totally run out of mental and physical capacity is because we are overworked and overtired. But we don't stop to do what we need to do because we won't know what we are going to do when we rest. This is the sad truth. Why? Is because we don't plan it anymore. We don't plan to rest. We don't plan to go on holiday. And the reason for most of those things is people are going to say, but financially, I can't afford to go on holiday. I didn't say you must go anywhere. I'm asking, what do you do to rest? And again, it needs to be a daily practice. What is simple things that you can break away from what you do while you work or when you're tired? If you had a really tough meeting, it drained you, right?
Yes.
You don't walk out there with the same amount of energy that you walked in with. So you're going to have to do something to fill up your cup again. And whether that is a coffee somewhere not in the office, or maybe it's quickly going to the shop. What is it that you can do? I'm very, very grateful and fortunate to work from home. So I can take a walk in the garden when I feel like, wow, I am tired now. And I take care and with a lot of purpose plan the garden, because I know that is one of the places that I go to. And none of those things really actually cost me anything, Odette. But if we can plan our holidays, right, then we will also plan to go and rest. But I'm talking about daily stuff as well. And a lot of times people say, but I can't afford to go on a holiday. Well, we spoke about it in the previous session as well, of course you can afford it. You just never planned it. And that's the reason you can't afford it, is because you didn't plan it. So if you start planning to rest, you will rest more. And if you are intentional about your rest to recharge, then you will also do that much more.
Absolutely. So I think one of the things that people often miss is the fact that you need to plan, but we also need to remember that if you don't plan your day, someone else is going to plan it for you.
Absolutely.
I have conversations quite often about, oh, but my diary's full. Really? Did you put in a slot in there to say, this is my break time, this is when I take the dog for the walk, or this is when I do X? If you don't put stuff in your diary, whether it's an iCal or an Outlook calendar, somebody else will. And they will intrude on your time. You mentioned it before. Boundaries beat burnout, 100%.
Yeah.
But it starts with being firm about those boundaries. And look, the reality is you need to learn to say no, because it's a blessed word.
Yeah.
Sometimes saying no means that someone's going to be upset. You know what?
Yeah.
They'll get over it.
Yeah. And Odette, like you said it now, you have to plan to walk the dog. It's just as important as that next meeting you are going to do, because it's going to put you in a better mental place in order to do so. And the other thing that you asked about was the physical, and physical exercise is just as important. So if you're going to plan to get out to rest and do physical exercise, you as a human being will perform better. What you said about the calendar is so true. I set my Outlook that it opens in my calendar in the morning and not in my emails for a reason. Because if I open my inbox, right, and I had this whole beautiful plan, what I'm going to do today, the moment I open my inbox, my entire outlook for the day changes. Look at that. My entire outlook for the day changes, because now I'm in my inbox and my entire day is going to go about everybody else who sent me a meeting. I'm not being selfish. I was going to open it in the calendar because I am going to live a purposeful life. That doesn't exclude other people. It just means for me to live that purposeful, intentional life, I need to start with the things that are important to me so that I could be the best for other people. And with physical exercise, the easiest thing for me to start with that is not to start on a Monday, because we always want to start on a Monday. I always say that intentions are also as good as starting on a Monday, because you're never going to do it. If you just intend on doing something, you're never going to actually do it. So just start today, get it over with, and get into routine. For me, intentional living, happiness, joy, all of it is it's a lifelong thing. The same with exercise. You can't do an 8 to 12 week program. And funny enough, myself and my personal trainer spoke about this yesterday, is you can't do an 8 to 12 week program and want results. Yes, you might look better for your bikini in December, maybe not even, because the results are long-term. And it's the same with joy. It's the same with happiness. It's not an 8 to 12 week program, Odette. It is a lifelong journey of impactful choices and decisions that you make on a daily basis.
Absolutely. With you saying that, there's so many thoughts in my mind. So in terms of a physical lifestyle where you are happy, you have to remember that these are seeds you're sowing now that's going to produce a harvest at some point. And part of that harvest, we have close friends who are elderly, and one of them had not a stroke, they've had heart issues. But the heart issues are as a result of neglecting a healthy lifestyle. Guys, it's going to catch up with you. That is the reality. I met with someone today who is much older than me, but mentally, physically, you'd think they're 21. And it's a choice, guys. You can choose to be old and frail and, falling apart, or you can choose to be mentally fit, physically fit, and live a better life. Do you want to be that person that can't run around with the grandkids because actually your body doesn't allow it because you just never took the time? Or do you want to be the person that lives a full life and at the end of the life go, you know what, I left it all on the table? That's kind of my vibe. I want to leave it all on the table. It's okay if you don't, it's fine. But you have two choices. And for me, the leaving it all on the table is definitely the choice I would make.
Odette, there's a book by Robin Sharma called The 5 a.m. Club.
Yes.
It's brilliant. If you haven't read it, you can absolutely take the time to do so. I like how he puts it. He says heart set, mindset, and soul set. Those three things is going to help you to live a purposeful or intentional, happy life because you are going to be focused on those three things. If the 10 intentional stuff is maybe hard for you, which I think it's easy because we've got 10 fingers, it's one, it's one of each of them. It's quite simple. But if that's too much and you want to break it down even more, then do the three: heart set, soul set, and mindset.
I love that. So guys, if you need some cool books, this show is the place where you're going to find them. Just so you know, pay attention. On that note, so we need to talk about what are some practical tips to creating healthy hacks. Could you, Janine, leave the viewers with a couple of actionable practical tips that they can implement today?
The first thing for me will be with when you get up, the first thing you do in the morning, what is that going to be? How is your mindset? We said it. When your foot gets out of that bed, what is the first thought that you are thinking? It needs to be positive, because the moment you put your foot out of bed and you be like, oh, another day, that's exactly how your day is going to go. And I am surely not the most energetic person when I wake up. I say that with all the confidence, but I try every single morning. When I put my foot out of that bed, I'm like, it's going to be a great day. I thank God for this day. It's going to be amazing. We're going to do great things today. We're going to make impact. It's what you say, it's what you think, and then how you prepare your heart for the day is very important. I love to say, and I practice this, my family knows this, I've said it before, the first hour of the day is mine. And it's not a selfish thing. It's so that I can get my mind, my heart, my body, everything ready for the day that lies ahead. So what is your first thoughts? What are your first actions? And what are you doing in the first hour of your day to fill yourself in order to live that impactful life? Another thing that I just want to leave them with is we must understand that our earning ability is actually depreciating every single day. So what are you doing with your personal brand at work? Whether you are an employee or a business owner, you still have a personal brand. In other words, your name in the industry is very important, and your name is equal to your income, right? Yes. And your income or your income capability will depreciate. But if you work every single day on your personal brand and your name, because you started your day right and you're leading your day right, I promise you, your income will increase, your happiness will increase, your mindset will be better, more positive, and it will end up being a much happier life for yourself.
Absolutely. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, Alex Hormozic talks about do it when you're busy. Whether that's exercise, whether that's making time to start your day off right, do it when you're busy. And his argument is if you can't do it when you're busy, you're not going to do it when you're not busy. And the minute you get busy again, you stop doing it. So guys, where do you find the time? You just do. You have time for what you make time for. So make the time, go for a walk, write down 3 things you're grateful for, and you'll see within a week, your life will be completely different. Janine, thank you so much once again for joining us and sharing your wisdom on happiness hacks. So that wraps up this episode of Amplify with Purpose, Business and Life Unlocked. We hope you found the happiness hacks valuable and practical for your everyday life. Stay tuned for the final episode of the happiness hacks in this series. We'll explore the power of positive thinking and how it can actually transform your world. Now remember, no one is coming. You have to be the hero of your own story. And we are here to provide you with the tools and the knowledge you need so that you can amplify your life. So in the meantime, stay curious, stay happy, and stay tuned. Until next time, take care.